Mr. Dobin, how long have you been serving in this role?
Just a little bit under 3 years now.
Under 3 years. Now, the budget request is upwards of $700 million for cybersecurity threat risk and prevention in the VA. And the nefarious actors abroad that are wanting to do us harm are spending hundreds of billions of dollars. I'm a big advocate for cybersecurity, cyber risk, cyber threats, so I'm paying close attention to what you're asking for. Now, my issue that I have, since you've been in this role for 3 years, is that that means that the IG, how many IG reports do you think you received that's had the same amount of information repeatedly over the past 3 years? I mean, Mr. Bowman, how many IG reports do you present to the VA a year? 2, 3?
We present the annual FSMA report annually, but we also have notices of findings and recommendations based on our site visits. So what is eventually rolled up in the FSMA report, OINT is seen numerous times throughout the year.
Okay. And from what I understand from 2019, but actually upwards of kind of a decade plus, of IG reports repeating the same information over and over again. And I get it. I understand the challenges of staying in front of the technological advances and protecting ourselves in the cyberspace. I got it. But it seems like the VA is not running in parallel. It seems you're reactive more than proactive. And I would argue the fact that you're comfortable with where you are and how VA is taking the proper steps to protect our veterans, but we should be running scared every single day because the data that the veterans provide and that aggregated beautiful data set is the most cherished asset we have in the country. Now, with the report that Mr. Powner provided with the IG reports, I would think that we're behind the curve. And you said that the budget and manning and equipping and staffing the VA will solve this problem. So can I ask you, if we provide the budget request that you're asking for and we have the ability to man, train, and equip the VA, will our cyber issues go away?
Thanks for the question. It's a great question. So let me unpack a few things there. We have not seen the same recommendations in their detail from OIG.
Well, I know Mr. Bowman said that they've altered or changed, but if they have the same underpinning, if you're peeling the onion back to the core of it and it's saying the same thing.
Yeah, let me just take a brief aside in terms of their methodology. The problem is, and we've had discussions with the OIG for my entire tenure on this, at the heart, they are not practitioners in cybersecurity. They're auditing us based on our particular set of policies we have. And what
I would assume that would be by, with, and through subject matter experts in the cyberspace. They're not just throwing mud at the wall and throwing it at you.
Well, they are taking cyber auditors, not practitioners, and they are doing things like finding places where scans reveal a vulnerability, which we then go back to them and say, well, the way you scanned isn't quite correct. The net of it is they are not actually, and I've asked for this repeatedly from them, give me a risk-based analysis of what you're finding.
Is that what, not Mr. Powner?
No, both of them have a very similar methodology. The thing I actually find in the MITRE report most helpful is the analysis of the 5 systems. Super helpful to us. They do depend upon the OIG reports and the findings there and build on top of it with a bunch of interviews of people at OIT, for instance, and OIS. And so they're building upon the OIG's reports. But at the heart, this is an audit exercise. This is not a cyber assessment exercise. And we've had this debate back and forth my entire 3-year tenure.
Sounds like a pretty silly debate to be having considering the problem set that we're issuing. And I'll piggyback off of what Mr. Kennedy said, 1,000 breaches nonetheless, breaches are happening.
And we have focused our efforts in a very risk-based analysis of where do we think the greatest risk is to the VA, and we have attacked that mercilessly and relentlessly for the past 3 years. So
will the individuals that you're going to add to the VA system zero out the threat risk assessments for VA?
There is no way, and getting to your first point, I am anything but lackadaisical about cyber. And my team knows it is the thing I stay up at night about. It is the biggest worry that I have in this job. And I think that if you add resources, it will help us tremendously, but it will not zero out the cyber risk that the VA faces. It is
we're in a position to not have you sit in front of us and say, hey, look, we got hit, and you missed it because you missed something that's coming to your left from your left shoulder. And we have, so with the EHR, I'm going to get close on this one. I'm going to try, okay? With the EHRs, we have 6 facilities that are functional currently, but we're in a purposeful pause. We have 172 that need to go active over a period of time. From my understanding, that's not even going to be initiated until 2026. But if we're going from Vista to Cerna, right? Oracle, that's a lot of bandwidth. Are you working in parallel, I'm sure with Mr. Spaeth here, to make sure that every single one, I'm just throwing you under the bus right there. Are we working in parallel, making sure that our systems are capable and have the effective and efficient defense posturing to make sure that these facilities are protected? I ran out of time, sir. Just get back to me on that question, okay, please?
Sure.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.